So, Michelle, in your years of experience, what have you learned about how what you do impacts women specifically in midlife and beyond?
How it impacts women is that as you progress in your decades, there's a cultural thing that happens. The culture says you're supposed to decline. Don't believe that. You don't have to, and you can keep having more and more energy. And the work that I do helps women to feel lighter, feel easier, feel more energy, and really be vibrant.
Michelle is leading a class for the Flip Side of Midlife community here in the Phoenix area. And I will have that information in the show notes and transcript too. From the description and how you're talking about it here in part 1 and part 2, I just know it's going to be so impactful for so many women in this community. You talked to us a little bit about some tips for breathing in part 1 of our conversation. And I would love for you to expand more on the movement and mindset piece here in part 2. When we're feeling big emotions and we're about to lose it, how can movement and mindset help us in that scenario?
That is such a great question. The movement actually helps move energy through you, and that's what emotions are. Emotion, it's energy moving through you, energy in motion. And so when you do the movement, and I'll just describe the movement, which is moving all your joints in a way that's fluid. So we want to get the joints to roll and move through every joint, your fingers, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. And what that does is it creates a waterway flow. It creates more fluids to be able to move in your body. And when the fluids move, that emotion you're talking about, it actually gets to be digested. So the movement through your body, through your hips, your knees, your spine, wherever we can move and open up our joints, then more fluid can flow, our bodies can lighten up, and then we have more ability to actually acknowledge those emotions from your mindset and then work with them. So that's a little bit about how the movement works. And then mindset, we're told from a very early age, you shouldn't feel that. You shouldn't have those feelings. And then when we get into midlife, it's just accepted that, oh, it's normal and you should just have hot flashes all the time and crazy emotions, but you shouldn't display it in public. What is a little bit different that I work with is I've got these feelings and they make sense. All your feelings make sense. And they could be coming from some electrical connection. It could be coming from some pent up thing that you haven't handled yet in your life. It could be coming from somebody else's stuff that you decided to take on and that is just rolling around in there and needs to flow through you and you need to release it. So there's so many parts of emotions that happen. The biggest thing is that you learn how to digest them, how to allow them to be there first, to not just shove them under the rug and pretend you don't have them, but let yourself have the emotion, acknowledge it. It makes sense to me that I'd feel this. Makes total sense based on your history. And then do the movement and a little bit of the breathing that we talked about in part 1 to let those feelings move through you and digest. And then you're going to feel a lot lighter, a lot happier, and a lot more in charge of being able to handle your feelings. So these tools are gold. They are just gold for being able to not be a victim of your emotions, but actually be a manager of your emotions.
Let's kind of move to the other side of that. When we are feeling depleted and we're feeling really low energy, how can movement and mindset be used in that situation?
When you're feeling depleted, Your body's telling you that something needs to occur. It could be that you need to rest, the taboo word in our culture. It could be that you're full in your mind that something hasn't processed yet and that you're stuck inside and you need to find out what that might be. So when you feel depleted, the movement, really gentle movement in this case, could be very helpful. Instead of trying to go to the gym and push it out, let your fluids start flowing. Let some energy connections start being made inside you. And that's where movement comes in, because I know when I get depleted, I will back off the exercise stuff and I'll do the fluid movement. And then just letting my spine move and opening up, all the vertebra and all the muscles around your spine. Your spine has so many pairs of nerves that go everywhere in your body. When you open up your spine, and open up, I mean like relax those muscles, let them be fluid, let them be flexible. Those nerves go everywhere. So it impacts your brain, it impacts your whole body. That's where the beauty of the movement comes in. It can actually help you to have more energy. And then the second part is, when you're depleted, don't talk about how depleted you are to yourself. Instead, look for where you can find energy, where you can source energy. Maybe you go out and sit under a tree and just let yourself be there. We tend to get in our stories about, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Your body will follow that. But if you can be a scout and look outside, see a mountain, see beautiful pink flowers in the bougainvilleas, or anything that helps you to absorb energy from nature, or from something funny, or from a leader that you find on YouTube that inspires you. Source your energy. If you can't make it directly, move your body, source energy, and start to have the mindset that I'm going to replenish myself. I'm not going to talk about over and over, how I'm depleted.
It goes back to that awareness and that acknowledgement again, of the awareness of, I'm just not feeling it. Something is clogging it all up today. And I just need to, like you said, go immerse in nature, or the things that I know that really make me feel good. I love how you said, maybe there's something that just is stuck and you don't even know that it's bringing you down until you really pause and give it space to come up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a lot out of this. Thank you, Michelle.